monster out. What happens is he spits spikes at you, straight at you, and what you have to do is punch the spike to knock it down into the boat, then pick it up and launch it into his eye when it's open. Sometimes the spikes won't come directly at you. If they're coming straight at your eye level, you know you'll be able to punch them. However, if they're anything below you, I really suggest just trying to jump over the other one. Keep repeating this pattern over and over again until you finally defeat this monster. Thinking that we finally have completed everything, we've saved Jennifer and now are just leaving after we've escaped the island, everything suddenly gets dark and it's time to deal with the final boss battle of the game. The first form can definitely be a pain as you have that big massive blob coming at you from either the right or left side. On the right side it launches a whole lot of different heads at you, and on the left side it launches a whole bunch of different wolf faces. The wolves always come at the same directions. After a few hits back and forth, you then have to deal with wolf heads raining down at you 5 at a time from the ceiling, and then being able to attack the main base. Once again, it comes down to knowing exactly what pattern they're going to fall in, and thankfully it's always the same no matter what. The 2 go in the directions into the corners, and then 3 come at you from the top. After you defeat the massive mass, it then comes down to a one-on-one battle with you versus a head with these wings attached to it. Thankfully, it bounces off the walls, and every time you hit it, it flies up into the ceiling. After only a few hits, it collapses and breaks into the ground, and we've defeated the final boss of the game, saved Jennifer, and completed Splatterhouse 2. Splatterhouse 2 is my personal favorite in the Splatterhouse series. I think it has some of the absolute coolest effects and some of the coolest moments. Now granted, this was the first game in the Splatterhouse series that I ever actually got a chance to play, so that's probably why I'm more attached to it than the others. While I do really enjoy 3 as well as the original Splatterhouse game, I do have issues with the third Splatterhouse game that I'll get into in my playthrough of that game. Once again, Splatterhouse is a brilliant series. You've seen the graphics, the amount of gore for its time was absolutely outstanding. It also has a better soundtrack in my opinion than the original Splatterhouse game that came out in arcades and for the TurboGrafx. Now this is actually the third Splatterhouse game. The second Splatterhouse game that was released was actually a prequel game for the Famicom, or the Nintendo Entertainment System in North America, known as Splatterhouse Wanpaku Graffiti, a chibi-based Splatterhouse game that was telling Rick and Jennifer, and eventually at the end of the game shows you going to the house, the West Mansion, in which Splatterhouse 1 takes place. However, it's much more corny and goofy, with a lot of different parodies of other horror movies in it, and since unfortunately it never made its way to North America, you have to import it and be able to enjoy it, but it's definitely worth doing so. After the end screen, we get one little last effect of a ghoul coming out of the water from where the mansion was located and flying at the screen, pretty much signifying that maybe not everything has been dealt with. And of course we'll find out exactly what happens in Splatterhouse 3. But with that, that's going to wrap up this edition of Play It Through. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.